Coronation Starscream. This is bad comedy.
Megatron?
Answer me! See this? The Matrix. I now possess that which you most fear. I, Galvatron, will crush you just as Megatron crushed Prime.
Hello guys and gals, and welcome. So today we're going to be looking at the Legacy Galvatron. It's a pretty cool one. As you saw in the intro, you got a good look at the box. So let's skip by the box since we've already got a good look at the box. And let's see what's inside, shall we? So the goal of this channel is to obviously open up all these toys. If you guys are collectors like I am, one of the things that has always taunted me was, you know, hey, look at all these beautiful Transformers. I'd love to open them up and see what they're like, but that would ruin the resale value. Well, guess what? I'm going to do it for you. That way you guys don't have to have the resale value ruined. Just me. So it looks like he's pretty well wrapped. Inside the box there's nothing else left. It's just empty. So let's take him apart, open up these. He's really tied in there. I mean, look at all these little ropes holding him in. I mean, that's a lot of little ropes. And as far as him, I mean, he's tied in here. His weapon's tied in over here. We've got the other two weapons on the left and the right up at the top. So I guess I'll have to take a little bit of time just untying these. I'd like to actually hang on to these, if possible. You know, collector's value. I know that with the originals and things, you know, they like even the styrofoam and stuff is sought after because the styrofoam is not something that people normally save. So I will most likely be saving all the little tidbits. I might even put it back in the box when I'm finished. Who knows? Depends on how I feel. Galvatron, don't worry. I will free you. Pretty funny anecdote about this particular toy. So I was at the store looking for, you know, new Transformers to purchase. As collectors, we tend to search for Transformers on a regular basis. And I happened to find Galvatron and Coronation Starscream at the same time. And if you guys don't understand the irony of finding Galvatron and Coronation Starscream at the same time, I'm not really sure what to tell you all. But it was hilarious to me. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, what are the chances that I would find Galvatron and Coronation Starscream on the same day? As Galvatron said, this is bad comedy. Alright. So a little bit of effort. I mean, I could have just cut these, but take a little bit more care than just simply slicing them to bits, right? That way I can save on some of this stuff. It does look like there is a fair bit of tape holding everything together as well, though, so if you want to cut some of the tape, certainly a possibility. Alright, and just like that, Galvatron is free. Very, very cool. And we also have, of course, the Matrix to hang around his neck, because, of course, in the movie, he was able to steal the Matrix of leadership from Ultra Magnus. So, in the movie, of course, he gets his hands on that. This is, of course, his arm cannon. And then these two aren't really held in by anything. Yeah, well, that pretty much frees him from his prison. And, of course, Galvatron has a space cannon mode. And we're going to have to transform him into the space cannon mode. That'll definitely be really cool. It doesn't look like his hands open. I was just noticing this. He's got fixed digits on his hands. A lot of the newer Transformers that I've seen have fingers that open and close. His fingers are not open and closable, they're just fixed. So that's interesting. He also came with the booklet here, the Galvatron booklet. And I'm assuming that this goes over all of his transformation steps, probably one by one, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it looks like the two, these two combine together to make some sort of cannon. That's interesting. Or apparently you can put them on his back. And on the other side, that's the rest of the instructions to transform him into the gun mode. And as much as I would like to sit here and follow the instructions, I've always been one to try and transform these guys on myself. Like, I think it would be really cool to try and give this a go. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at Galvatron in all his glory. I'm assuming this is where his weapon goes, right? There we go. We can point the weapon at the screen. Look at that, beautiful. You know what? Let's get a quick fashion photo shoot of him. Why not?
You'll do my bidding, or taste my wrath! Unicron, my master. With this, I shall make you my slave.
Is that you?
Here's a hint. Belong to him. I belong to nobody.
Now, let's see if we can't transform him into his alternate mode. You know, I have to say, I've never transformed Galvatron into his alternate mode. I don't think I ever have, actually. He's very interesting. Very, very nice colors here. I mean, I definitely do enjoy the quality of this transformer. I mean, how exactly I'm supposed to transform him into his alternate form, I don't know. It's almost as if I should be looking at an instruction manual. Although sometimes it's fun to just figure it out on your own. It looks like his arms come up. That's rather interesting. So his whole arms come up. And then it looks like he pivots. Like his whole underside pivots. It's rather interesting. We've got a lot going on this guy. Like, there is... You know, some of these transformers, they really do have a lot of, like, intricate transformation bits, I guess would be the term. And I'm definitely having a lot of fun looking at this guy. The back of his legs, particularly, just tons and tons of little mechanisms here. Like, man, like, it looks like his whole foot joint pops open. It does. There's like... That is a lot going on just in the feet area, like big giant swaths of mechanisms and turning joints and all this stuff, and we've even got like a little, almost like a little kickstand here that comes out of the foot. But I have no clue what any of this stuff does. It's really cool to look at, though. I'm gonna tell you what. Looks like to me and I just got Galvatron all messed up. Poor Galvatron, look at him. Look at poor Galvatron. He's like, dude, he's like, can you at least reference the manual sheet before you start ripping into my innards? Like, can you please? Okay, it looks like his head folds down into this mechanism here, which is kind of interesting. I mean, we've got a lot going on here. There's a mechanism on his back, and I'm pretty certain, just like Optimus Prime, that's what it seems like anyway. You know how Optimus Prime's head would kind of like fold down into his compartment? it kind of seems like that's what's going on with Galvatron. Let's pull his arms away from his head mechanism. And then let's lift up this front chest piece. And sure enough, yeah, his whole head does disappear into this module. That's pretty cool. Then the whole module tilts down. That's freaking awesome looking. Galvatron, are you in there right? Because your head, your thing piece isn't clipping. Man, this is like kind of nuts. Like his whole body has like literally just disintegrated into like a pile of pieces and mechanisms. And granted, I'm sure that's exactly what was intended. But some of these newer Transformers, they really do have a lot of ridiculous, like, little bits and bobs, I guess would be the term. Bits and bobs. I'm so curious as to how you do this properly, and I'm just doing it completely wrong. But you know, a lot of the times, and this is just my opinion on this, a lot of the times these Transformers are bought by children, which of course they're toys, you know, and although these particular ones seem to be aimed at us, you know, 80s children, you know, there are also kids who are going to get their hands on these, and so they're going to do the same thing I'm doing right now, is they're going to play around with the toys and try and figure out the transformations even without the manual, and might not do such a good job. I mean, heck, I'm not doing such a good job. There's just so much going on here. Like this whole centerpiece right here, which is basically his chest, right? So like, you know, this is his main chest piece. His head is now hiding inside of the main sort of like gun area, I would assume is what this is. And then I'm assuming that the legs probably fold backwards. Poor Galvatron's legs. We've got these two things right here on the outer edges, which are kind of interesting looking. I'm not sure what these little purple things are. It's so fun just playing with these guys sometimes. It looks like these two pieces lock together. These two purple pieces. There's a notch in one purple piece, and there's a notch in the other purple piece. So it definitely seems like they're supposed to clip together at some point. Alright, so I have a feeling, and this is just my verdict, is that I do not feel like he is extremely easy to transform without the instructions. So that's just me going over him for just a short period of time, just kind of getting a feeling for how his transformation works. And it definitely does feel like he's a little bit difficult to transform if you don't know what's going on, if you don't know the correct like combination of events here. So let's you know, and it probably is compounded by the fact that obviously he's not a like a car or a you know, like a plane or something that's readily identifiable. You know, Galvatron is a space cannon, and he's not even exactly a very good space cannon. He just kind of is a cannon, and that's about it. So right off the bat, the first thing they tell you to do is close his fists, and then the second thing they tell you to do is to fold his fists up into his arms, which basically allows you to create the sort of like tracks, like the tracks on the side of his hands. So according to this, you're supposed to do that for both of his arms. Make 2 tracks. And once you've got your tracks, they need to be locked into the arm hole. There's a little notch in the arm hole right over here. So they're locked in place. Makes sense. Same thing with the other one. Spin it and lock it. Nice little solid snap there. Of course, I've already taken half of him apart, haven't I? Try to see if there's anything else to do here, really. I mean, it would be pretty easy to put him back in his natural form, obviously, so that we can get a better idea of what everything looks like. I mean, you pretty much just open the compartment back up where his head rests. Easier said than done. Wow, really easier said than done. Oh, there we go. That way we can sort of get things back to how they're supposed to be. Since I have absolutely no idea how this stuff works, it's probably a good idea if I start from square one. When I was a kid, though, good lord, I used to learn these things so quick, and I would have them transformed in, what, a matter of seconds? You guys know what I'm talking about. Alright. So the second thing they want us to do is to take his purple slats, these things on the back right here, and they want us to fold them outward like this. Okay. And then the next thing they want us to do is to open up these things right here. These little 2 things on the feet. And they want us to turn the feet around so that they're facing each other. That's what it looks like to me. Oh, never mind. These are supposed to be out when he's transformed. So they weren't out while he was in the box. Probably just not enough room. I would assume that the position he was when he was in the box wasn't correct. So they want you to seal his feet together like that. Kind of turns him into, what, like a starship? Doesn't he turn into a starship as well? Could have sworn I remember he turned into a starship. Alright, now they want us to take the pieces here and fold them out. These 2 gray pieces right here. And then we're lifting up his arms like so. Then we pulling them down. Now we have a very strange looking Galvatron. And on the next page, They want us to move this piece down, and now they want us to mess with his head, I think. Yeah, they want us to mess with his head. So open this, and then you lift up his chest plate, which also moves his head, and you basically fold his head into the reservoir. And then they want us to shut the reservoir on his head, and it makes a nice solid click. That holds it in there. And then we fold this whole piece down. Lift this piece up. So apparently this goes kind of just like this. It even kind of clicks into place. That's actually pretty nice. And then it wants us to take these two things, bring them up. Doesn't really say what to do with this. Looks like the legs are supposed to go up. Interesting. I think this is supposed to be seated like that. Yeah. We're getting there. And then these go down. These go on top of there. I think we've just about got him finished. Back of this, says I'm supposed to pull something out of here, like a not really sure what that is. Oh, there we go. Like the whole backside of them pops out like that. That's interesting. And then from here, these two things get pulled down, act as like back stabilizers. Then we need to take his gun, remove the cylinder, put the cylinder on him as a main weapon. Looking pretty interesting so far. The gun cylinder apparently goes on the top of him, like this. Right there. And then according to the instructions, we're supposed to take the two weapons and the matrix. The matrix is supposed to literally hang from his gun. And then his two weapons are supposed to go here. If I'm reading this correctly. Looking pretty snazzy. Galvatron. And of course, Galvatron never was like the most glorious or glamorous transformation. I mean, he's literally a freaking space laser or some craziness, right? Like, it's not like he's something much cooler like Triptychon was a dinosaur, or Metroplex was a city. He's just a cannon. He's a pretty cool looking cannon, in my opinion. There seems to be a difference in the like pattern on the gun as well, and it does seem like if you were to put it this way, it kind of has like a prettier pattern to it. All in all, it's a very nice, very pretty cool toy. Very complicated as well. I feel like there's probably... Wasn't there a third mode for Galvatron? Didn't he have a... Didn't he also double as like a frickin' spaceship or something? Maybe I'm just misremembering. Anyway, let's flash to a glamour shot of Mr. Galvatron here in his space cannon mode, shall we?
Nation Starscream, this is bad comedy.
Megatron?
I, Galvatron, will crush you just as Megatron crushed Prime. Answer me! See this? The Matrix! I now possess that which you most fear.